Hello, very important information. Manager committed a felony in a third degree, 2 counts, and violated company policy today at the OUTBACK Steakhouse on West Flagler Street, right off the Palmetto Expressway, right by that Shell gas station. So before I go on to tell you what happened, real quick, this is copy-paste from the state of Florida's website. Statute 825.102, abuse, aggravated abuse, and neglect of an elderly person or disabled adult and penalties. And it goes on to say that an intentional act that could reasonably be expected to result in physical or psychological injury to an elderly person or disabled adult. That right there. So even if there's a lot more to it as well, but if y'all want to read it, you could just Google that as well. But it goes to say that even if there's no physical harm done to the person, even placing the person in harm's way is a felony in a third degree, even if, again, the person is not injured. So just by them endangering me, knowing I'm disabled, because he saw me with my cane numerous times, common sense person says, you got a cane, you're disabled. And I am legally disabled, and I have the cane. So the manager named Jonathan violated the law. Check this out. So I go to the restaurant. I've been going to Outback for over 25 years. They moved to the location they are now, somewhat like a couple years ago. Now, I'm sitting there, I'm type 2 diabetic, I'm in a lot of pain, I go there to get my food. I sit down, I told the waitress I wanted to order 2 salads, one now, one later. And so I'm sitting there, it takes forever for her to come to take my order. I sit at the bar in the lower section where the seat's lower so I can watch the basketball game and eat my food. So 2 different times my cane's leaned up against the thing and it slips and falls because the floor is so slippery. That causes that to fall on its own. At another point, when I go to the bathroom, there is a folding thing that holds the trays up in the middle of the walkway, and I almost hit it because I'm dizzy, I'm hungry, and I haven't got my food yet, so I'm going to the bathroom to get some stuff, to end up wiping down the counter because it's extremely dirty, and to change my shirt because I use the bicycle to get around because I can't walk much. So I'm doing that. And then I come out and it's still there, which, by the way, the manager, Jonathan, was inside the bathroom when I was in there, so he had to walk by and also saw that stare, but didn't do anything about it. So I actually told employees, please, I recommend you move that over so someone doesn't run into it, doesn't fall, and cause somebody to fall. So I go to sit down. Later on, all of a sudden, the music gets turned up real loud in the restaurant. I've never heard it that loud in my entire life going to Outback, nor any other establishment have I ever heard the music that loud. So my eardrums started hurting, and I didn't have these in. I'm watching the game. So I go and I get up and I go to tell the manager that the music is too loud. And I said that it's hurting my ears. He says, okay, go sit down. So I go sit down. After a while, I'm guessing maybe a few minutes, something like that, the music's still not turned down, and it's really disorientating, and I'm shaking. So I look up to see, and I see that there's a speaker right above me, about maybe a foot to 2 feet away, but right above me. And it was a Bose speaker, it looked like, from Recommend, which is a good speaker system, so just to add that. So very powerful. Anyway, so I get up and I go tell the manager again. And the manager did not care. He says, if you don't like it, you can leave. My jaw dropped. I was shocked because I've never had somebody be that hateful and careless and disrespectful towards a customer, not caring about the job or anything. So I had told him that he's the most disrespectful and careless person I've ever met. I told him I've been coming for 25 years. And then I went to my seat, and because of the fact that the music still wasn't being turned down, I put my salad up onto the higher portion of the counter so I could ask the bartender to put in a bag so I could go sit outside because I still need to eat food because I'm shaking. But I couldn't sit inside because it's so loud. So at one point, the manager comes out, and he has said that he turned on the music. I didn't hear him turn on the music because it's still very loud, and it's definitely not at the volume that it was before. So I told him that he is the most disrespectful person I ever met, at which point he looked at me and said, now I'm going to ask you to leave, and if you don't leave, I'm going to call the police. I was furious. I've never done anything to be having to be told to leave an establishment. I'm not at fault for anything, but I know the law. You know, and people don't understand this. Even with cops, if a cop tells you something, you got to do it. Even if you know you're right. You could be a lawyer and have a law book in your hands. And still, if they tell you to go, you got to go. And then take it up with them later on. So, I had proceeded to continue getting my stuff. And I told him when he told me that, I said, well, I'm waiting to pay my check because I wanted to pay my check before I went outside to eat my food because I didn't want them to think I'm leaving and have them have some reason to get on me. But I told him after he told me that, I told him, I'm waiting to pay my check. So he told the bartender to give me my check. I sit at the bar, but I don't drink. I never have, never will. I just sit there because it's easier to see the TV and get a hold of somebody. And also, since I can't afford a tip, bartenders make more tips, than others. So anyway, so I just go to them, so it's easier for everyone all around. So I had told him that I was going to report him to the company and to the federal government, OSHA, because of the violations inside the restaurant, endangering not only the customers but other employees. And I told him I was going to report him to the B.B.B. and to the police because he committed a crime, and to the company. And he said he didn't care. He says, I don't care. And he says, I look forward to it. So I was like, wow, I want to get this on video. He's so hateful. So I put on my cell phone, started recording to hopefully get him to, again, say he doesn't care. Because I'm like, if I could show this to the company that he doesn't care, they'll see that, okay, not only is he doing what he's doing, and they have security cameras in the restaurant, which will show what happened, but they'll also be able to see and hear directly him saying he doesn't care. And sure enough, he was so heartless enough that he said, I don't care. And I said, good, I got that on video now. I know you don't care. I know you don't care. And he had the nerve to turn to me and give me the peace sign and laugh as he goes away. So he had multiple opportunities to apologize for the way he acted. He could have, all those opportunities where he could have apologized. He could have also said, are you okay? Can I help you? How are you feeling? Etc., etc., etc. But instead of doing any of that, he instead took the time, the energy, the willpower to instead say, I don't care. And then he said it again, I don't care. And he's like, I got it once on video. But for him to say, I don't care, instead of saying, I'm sorry or whatever, heartless, careless. A person like that is an extreme liability to any company, any organization. He is a danger to the public. He's also a danger to himself because he could anger somebody who calls someone to do something to him. Not me, I'm not that type of person, but he could do that. If you have someone that heartless and careless willing to commit felonies against people in the establishment, he places he places him or herself in harm's way. He places all the patrons in that establishment in harm's way because he could cause someone to go on a rampage, come back and shoot up the place or whatever. He places everyone in extreme danger. And he also poses the company at a massive liability situation financially of getting sued left and right. He should be fired. Outback should compensate me for the meal that I had paid for that I didn't even get to finish. And they need to compensate me for endangering my life. Peace. I love you all.